Welcome back to Games with Dad. I'm your host, Dad, and today we're going to take a look at a game that just turned 27 years old, and thanks to some help from its very dedicated community, looks and plays even better than it did back in February of 1994. That's right, we're looking at the complete Sonic 3 Knuckles experience, everyone, and since it is February, the month of love, there's no fan base that quite loves its source material than the Sonic community. The biggest proof of this is the way I'll be playing Sonic 3 today, via the Angel Island Revisited port. For those of you who are unaware, Sonic 1, 2, and CD all got fantastic mobile ports by the team that eventually went on to create Sonic Mania. But for either licensing reasons or general laziness on Sega's end, we didn't get a similar widescreen port for Sonic 3. That was until Angel Island Revisited came out. It's got achievements, unlockable extras, runs at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second, and most crucially, it runs in modern widescreen resolutions. It is, in my opinion, the best way to play through Sonic 3, and it's not even close. So, February 2nd, 1994, the date that Sonic 3 was technically released, but the full experience wasn't actually completed until Sonic & Knuckles dropped in mid-October of that same year. You see, Sonic 3 was such a massive undertaking that SEGA couldn't fit it all in just one cart. Sonic Team had shot for the moon and felt that the end result was so groundbreaking that they just had to create cart-to-cart locking technology just to get the full experience completed. The end result is, by my measure, the greatest game on the Sega Genesis. And also a confusing godless abomination. So confusing, in fact, that my parents bought me the standalone Sonic & Knuckles alongside Sonic 2 for my 5th birthday. With Sonic & Knuckles being the second half of Sonic 3's campaign, it is considerably more difficult than Sonic 2. And Knuckles, you know, the cool new character in second half of the title screen, which made me want to play him even more, his campaign was much harder than Sonic's already fairly difficult campaign. This culminated with a frustrated kindergartner, a broken controller, and my poor parents questioning their life choices. Although I do fondly remember the day that I was finally able to beat Mushroom Hill Zone, the first zone in Sonic & Knuckles. I rushed upstairs and told my dad that I was now on Dr. Robotnik's giant flying ship. There's all these cool, dangerous robots everywhere, and the music is awesome, and then I fell into a giant bottomless pit. Now, I didn't actually get a copy of Sonic 3 until Christmas Day of 1997. Originally, I was actually a little upset because I had asked for a copy of Sonic 3D Blast that year, but my parents either intentionally or in an accidental stroke of genius got me the best game on the Sega Genesis. The original resentment and confusion quickly wore off after 5 minutes when I saw that you could save your progress for once, and once the opening cutscene started with Sonic jumping off the tornado and going super, I was hooked. Although Sonic 2 is my personal favorite in the series, up until recently the general accepted consensus was that Sonic 3 Knuckles was peak 2D Sonic, and it's not exactly hard to see why. The levels are massive and filled to the brim with alternate routes and secrets without feeling like a massive undertaking. You can play as 3 different characters, Sonic, Tails, and everyone's favorite himbo, Knuckles. And the music is incredibly catchy and has some serious ties to pop legend Michael Jackson. Unlike Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles doesn't have zones that I want to skip, just spots that I loathe going through before getting to the next segment that keeps me wanting more. I still like Sonic 2 a little more just because it's etched into my childhood, but Sonic 3 is a fantastic game that I think everyone should try at least once. So what do I really like about Sonic 3? Well, first off, the variety in zones is absolutely fantastic. We go from tropical paradise that gets set ablaze, to a vast underwater city, to an overgrown set of ancient ruins, to a crazy neon nighttime carnival. Each zone is unique and has its own unique gimmicks and challenges, like the Speedy Tops in Marble Garden, the Cannons and Balloons in Casino Night, and the rideable ice platforms in Ice Cap Zone. This is all scored by a soundtrack as iconic as it is catchy, which is nice because you'll be spending more time in each stage. Yes, the stages in general are much longer, but that doesn't mean they overstay their welcome like the Metropolis stages in Sonic 2. To help piece things together, there are even rudimentary cutscenes that help tell the story between acts, with my favorite being the one where Knuckles tries to punch Sonic while he's in Eggman's flying machine. And lastly, every level now caps off with either a mini-boss or a bout with the bad doctor himself. The end result is a definitive epic that spans 14 zones and culminates with an epic 3-stage fight with Eggman. And if you collect all the Chaos or Super Emeralds, you do battle as Super or Hypersonic, hurtling through space, collecting rings, and slamming into Dr. Robotnik's evil contraption to get the Master Emerald back. It's a fast-paced roller coaster ride of an ending that the series hasn't stopped chasing since. Moving on to what I don't like, not every boss is that great. Yeah, that's right, I'm looking at you, Lava Reef Act 2. Yeah, sure, it's a very cinematic and does a great job at raising the stakes, but it just takes so friggin' long to even get to the actual boss arena, and once you get there, you have to wait for what seems like 2 minutes for Eggman to just blow himself up. Same goes for both acts of Flying Battery Zone. Waiting around for the bosses to kill themselves is not my ideal afternoon. All of you Sonic 3 veterans out there could probably see this coming a mile away, but I also have specific beef with Carnival Night Act 2. Yes, that's right, yet another video complaining about the raising and lowering cylinders. I was a dumb 7-year-old and got timed out on this part multiple times before I actually figured out what to do. Also, the ghosts in Sinopolis are lame, and I'm not a fan of them. Luckily, you can just turn them off in Sonic 3 Air. And the loop-de-loops in Death Egg Zone just take way too long, and most of the time it's just better if you skip them, except for the last one in Act 1, because that's the last checkpoint before the mini-boss, which in my opinion is much harder than the Act 2 boss, but still a fair challenge, even if I did die a lot on it. So over the years, what has Sonic 3 taught me? 1. Older games can still be great. I got Sonic 3 when it was almost 4 years old, but that didn't stop it from being one of the best games on the SEGA Genesis. Just because a game is old doesn't mean that it's not good, and Sonic 3 was the first game to teach me that lesson. Number 2. It's okay to come back later. Sonic 3 was the first game I owned that actually let me save my progress and allowed me to come back later to finish it. This is great for if and when you get frustrated and have to come back later. 3. Some things get better with time. Sonic 3 has aged like a fine wine, and that's accentuated by Angel Island Revisited. Game preservation is incredibly important to keep genuine classics like Sonic 3 playable. And finally, if you trust that sketchy scientist dude with a mustache, you're gonna have a bad time.
Oh no!
So would I recommend Sonic 3 Air? Definitely. I think this is the best way to play Sonic 3 nowadays. I definitely prefer it to the actual hardware, and the widescreen support puts it ahead of Sonic 3 Complete, a ROM hack with a similar feature set as Sonic 3 Air, at least in my book. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you again for watching. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and click the bell notification to make sure YouTube lets you know when another one of my videos goes live. This is Dad. That was Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited, and I'll see you next time with more Games with Dad.